Hello Substreamers, welcome back to Substream News. I'm Joseph, your presenter, and the first piece of news today could change the world as we know it. Now, while this channel usually looks forward, these scientists are looking backwards, but in an absolutely fascinating way. Now, the company in question is Colossal Biosciences. They've just raised $200 million, a $10 billion valuation. That's quite a jump from their last valuation, which was $1.5 billion. Why on earth have they got such a big valuation and so much funding? It's because they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. This is epic. Well, recently, the kind of huge jump in their valuation and all this funding is because apparently behind the scenes, they've made giant leaps in technology and progress and innovation, and it's looking more likely that they will be able to bring back the woolly mammoth. But I dug a little bit deeper and I found that it's not the only animal they're trying to bring back. Also, the saber-toothed tiger and the dodo, which I think is incredible. How are they going to do it? Well, that's tricky. That's very scientific, but it can be boiled down to genome mapping, gene editing, and egg cell implants. Now, for the woolly mammoth in particular, the idea is that they take the closest living ancestor to the woolly mammoth, which is the Asian elephant. They gene edit some embryos to make them woolly mammoths, and then they implant those embryos into the Asian elephant, and eventually one should take and give live birth to an actual woolly mammoth. If you could see it as an actual woolly mammoth or not just a science experiment, that's up to you. Now, when is all this happening? Probably in our lifetimes. That's what the timeline looks like, and that's pretty exciting. And sorry, the flies are coming for me. Perhaps they can bring back an animal that loves eating pesky flies who love to land on humans in the park. Bugging me here. There's more to this story, so I will remind you, as I always do, if you want to read the full story, we include our links down in the description. Always. You can go read that. And while you're down there, you might as well click subscribe. Might as well. Let's move on. Now, I have to ask, what kind of world would the woolly mammoth be returning to? Now, they believe they died out about 4,000 years ago. So if you think what's changed over the last 4,000 years, we've had civilization, the Industrial Revolution, and loads of other stuff in between. What has happened in that time is pollution. Let me just move to the side to make way for this nice infographic image right here. Let's just kind of condense this into digestible information. Half the waste goes in the ground, a fifth gets professionally burned, with some ending up in the air. I'm currently in Bangkok, which I believe today was the world's most air polluted city. Might be wrong. PM 2.5 is very high. And also, another fifth ends up illegally dumped in like rivers, the ocean, nature, illegal burning and tipping sites, stuff like that. Basically, they believe only about 9% of global waste is being recycled. That's pretty embarrassing considering our reliance on resources like metal, glass, plastic, paper, things like that. We should be doing better, but we're not. Sorry, woolly mammoth, if you do come back to this planet, your vegetation and your food will probably be mixed up with like microplastics, crisp packets, PET plastic bottles, Hessian sacks, all that sort of stuff. Sorry, buddy. That's the reality. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Just a heads up for the next story. I don't really know anything about anime, and you might not either. But if you do, and you're a huge expert on anime, this story will appeal to you. I think there's a wider interest angle in this piece, and that's why I really wanted to include it in this story. AI is so topical right now. You're going to be hearing about AI from me in most episodes because it is changing the world before us as I speak. This story could be a little bit confusing if, like me, you've never seen anime, but bear with me here. If you have seen anime, actually go down in the comments and help us out. Now, there's an open-sourced AI art model called Illustrious. It's built on a very well-known AI text-to-image generation prompting tool called Stable Diffusion, which is very good tech, and it's dominating the fan-made anime art scene. It turns out you don't need to be a seasoned professional Japanese artist to create good anime. Apparently now you can all do it with a bit of AI. Illustrious has become so popular in the AI art community that Civit AI, or Civitai, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, it's the largest hub for AI art models, has had to create a completely separate category just for anime, just to handle the massive ecosystem of resources being produced by Illustrious. Now, all of that might sound well and good, but what's most exciting here for anime fans is that Illustrious has dominated this space after just 3 months. It only launched 3 months ago and it's completely taken over that space. Why is it so much better than other AI art models? Why is it so wonderful and powerful? You can find out by clicking the link in the description. I don't want to go into further details, but if you are an anime expert who can make sense of this, please do help us out in the comments. That would be really valuable. Your insight really would be helpful. Anyway, let's move on. Actually, substreamers, we're going to stay on the theme of fake anime for just a little bit longer, and it's all about Pokemon, which true anime lovers have told me is not real anime, it's fake anime. Even though it's a Japanese cartoon, where's the line? I don't really know. But anyway, Pokemon cards have caused a huge brawl in a Costco in the US. Just watch this clip, it's pretty epic.
Hey! Stop! Let go! He's been here since 7 in the morning! Get the fuck off me, dog! Get off me! Get off!
That's why you make it 2 each.
Yeah, wild, right? That guy caught a sweet elbow and didn't even flinch. Anyway, after Costco started selling new packs of a kind of new range of Pokemon cards, people went a bit crazy and they started fighting over them, and the store had to basically install a 2 purchase limit per person and also put security guards around the Pokemon cards, and also they're changing the policy to put Pokemon cards kind of behind the cashiers so that people can't go grabbing and fighting them. People will have to politely ask for their Pokemon cards, which I think is cute. Now, there's precedent to this story, which I find bizarre. You'd think this is a kind of crazy one-off, but it's not. Costco actually 3 months ago had to install a similar policy, a 3 purchase limit policy on Pokemon cards because of more fighting. Anyway, crazy, funny, you tell me. Is there anything that you would fight other shoppers for in a shop? Like, I can't think of anything, but hey. Let's move on. Before I tell you this final story, I must tell you I'm not balding. I'm not bald. I have my hair short by choice because I like it. It's a hot climate. If you are balding, there's nothing wrong with that. If your hair's falling out, it's natural. It's part of human life. If you are really bothered by it, as many people are, it really can hurt your confidence, can cause anxiety, can cause all sorts of problems. And there's good news. Scientists may have found a cure for hair loss. Maybe not for baldness, entire baldness, but for hair loss, sure. So what it says here is that hair loss is a widespread concern affecting millions worldwide, with hereditary pattern baldness being the most common cause. Now, despite its prevalence, treatment options remain limited. However, a new hair regrowth gel involving a naturally occurring sugar in DNA could change the way we approach hair loss treatments completely. Now, what I can tell you is that this discovery, it all came about because they were doing research on deoxyribose. Our good old friend deoxyribose, a sugar critical to DNA structure. This has come from the University of Sheffield and the ComSats University. They basically were messing around with this sugar and they found that it had an unexpected outcome, was hair regrowth, and they were testing it on mice and they've tested it on humans. They were first testing it on skin wounds and realized no, it's actually going to help promote hair growth. This is a super interesting story. I encourage you to go read more, especially if you're having problems with your hair. Of course you want to know more about your options. Yeah, and until we get sponsored by some kind of hair regrowth company, because we're not, this is the most interesting story that I can tell you about hair regrowth. Thank you guys for watching. That was our lighter note, an optimistic story to finish on for our balding viewers. And for those of you who have a full head of hair, you too are invited to scroll down, click subscribe, and come back and watch future videos. I'm Joseph, your presenter. This is Substream News. It's a wonderful day here, and I'm going to go and enjoy the sunshine. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Substream News. Bye for now.